Am I the asshole for not giving my sister breast milk for her unborn baby? I, F31, have a 6 mo baby, my second kid. We had quite a bit of trouble nursing this time around, so I am exclusively pumping milk for this kid 20 minutes 4 times every day. Side note. Pumping totally sucks, no pun intended. I feel like a cow and have been experiencing nursing aversion, BAA. Which basically means I get a surge of negative hormones every time I start lactating and I get super angry. My older sister had a lot of trouble conceiving, but is finally 6 mo pregnant WA baby girl. She is busy prepping for the pregnancy she's been dreaming about for years. About a week ago she asked me for some of my breast milk to make soap for her unborn baby. She read something about caring for sensitive newborn skin and is worried her daughter will inherit her own skin issues, nothing medical, just very sensitive. She wants 12 ounces of milk. For those who don't know, that's so much breast milk. Like 2 entire meals for my son, and takes 2 entire pumping sessions to produce. Because I hate confrontation, I waited a few days to tell her no, I would not give her any milk. I needed to feed my kid. She is now furious with me and complaining to our mom and other sister how I'm being selfish and unsupportive in her miracle pregnancy. So, am I the asshole here? I just wanted to say how great the support of all the fellow B-Furs, past and present, and medical professionals is. I didn't realize how badly I need a support group until now. Your sister can use her own breast milk to make soap. What in the world? Some women struggle to make enough milk to feed their own babies. She's being self-centered and entitled. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She's not entitled to your breast milk. Can't even believe I just wrote that. Crazy. Not the asshole, it's your milk for your baby. Fuck your overbearing sister. Not the asshole. If she wants to make soap from milk, your sister can buy some milk from a health food store. Or she can buy specialty soap. You are not a cow. Not the asshole. She's not entitled to your breast milk? That's really weird of her? And 12 ounces. Is so much breast milk, that's insane. She could use goat milk. I heard that's a healthy alternative. Not the asshole. She can make her own as soon as the baby comes out. Maybe then she will understand how hard it is to BF. Am I the asshole for accidentally wearing white to a wedding? Few weeks ago I got a last-minute invite to the christening of my cousin's and her husband's baby. My cousin and her husband have eloped, but they haven't had a ceremony. They had talked about having a ceremony eventually but not rushing it. They had a baby, who's now 9 months old. The christening was on Saturday, which is what I received the invite of. Only it wasn't just a christening. They also had a surprise wedding ceremony and reception along with the christening. None of us were aware and everyone was surprised. The reception would happen either way for the christening, only now it was a joint event of wedding, christening. In christenings in my country there's no rule about outfit colors and nothing bans you from wearing white, there's no rule for that. So I wore a white dress with some pink details. It was me and a couple of other girls who wore white, and at first everyone ignored us, but once the surprise wedding happened everyone started looking at us judgmentally as if we were supposed to be aware and we did it on purpose. My cousin was cold with me the entire time and she'd barely look at me and speak to me. Yesterday morning, aka the morning after the events, she texted me saying how I should be more aware and mindful and how I should play it safe and wear another color either way. She said that she won't take responsibility for the negative attention me and the other girls who wore white received, and we should be more careful in the future. Am I the asshole? Clearly not the asshole. You had no idea it was a wedding and it's very common for people to wear white to a summer christening. Once she cools off she will realize she is being Edit. If she wanted a dress code or people to dress a certain way she should have let people know in advance. A surprise ceremony is lovely but mean stuff like this arises. Not the asshole. Why on earth would anyone expect guests at a baby christening to play it safe by not wearing white just in case a surprise wedding breaks out? That's got to be one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Face with rolling eyes, don't plan a fucking surprise wedding and then be surprised that people are wearing white. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I can see why she's upset, but it's her own fault. She invited you to a christening, and you went dressed suitably. But then she changed what the event was, and now there's a different dress code. You had no way to know. Be more careful. Anytime anyone invites you to something, dress as though it's a wedding? You know you weren't in the wrong, as others did the same thing. She should just laugh and say she shouldn't have been surprised. In passing, don't lots of women wear white to christenings? You're awful for not reading my mind. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. So the policy is that you will never ever wear white because a surprise wedding might take place at another event? Ridiculous. Edit. Typo. Am I the asshole for having a lights out wedding? I, 27F, am the daughter of the most amazing parents that ever did amaze. No, they are not perfect, but they've literally done everything they could in their lives to make sure I was happy to the best of their ability. They are also both blind. Being raised by blind parents wasn't without its challenges, but we always found solutions or compromises. But the one thing that was often a point of contention, especially when I was a teenager, was clothing, fashion. My parents have their own way of being fashionable, and rather than appearance, it's fabric, feel. This has resulted in them having a very eclectic sense of fashion, but I honestly love it. I admit that I hated it as a teenager, as I had no say over my own wardrobe purchases, but I realized, after I moved out, that I really did prefer to feel comfortable in my clothes over how I looked in them. Took many stupid expensive clothing purchases to realize this, but I digress. Nothing is mismatched anymore, but I have a super cozy wardrobe. With the wedding planning in full swing, my FDH asked me if I was going to be okay with the photos. He did not mean this maliciously. It just didn't occur to him that I was originally planning to buy them clothing to wear. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, wouldn't a fabric wedding be special? Essentially, the whole wedding will be in the dark. I was inspired by that restaurant in the movie, About Time. I realized that I don't want to dress my parents. I want them to be comfortable, and to enjoy our wedding the way they experience it. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized I want to experience this special day as they would, too. My FDH honest to God does not care. In his mind, the moment I said yes, I became his wife, I love him. To avoid accidents, we're going to be using glowstick lighting and everyone will be provided glow bracelet, necklaces. They light up enough not to crash into each other, but not so much as to light up the room. We're also hiring event staff with night vision for this equipment, too. When we announced, most of the family was supportive. My family goes without saying. Fiancé's family is iffy. His brother loves the idea, and is going to come in a velvet suit à la Austin Powers. Honestly, it's his parents that are really against it. We had a huge fight over it when they argued that it's not fair to punish the guests because my parents are blind. The reason I think I may be the asshole is because the part of his family that is siding with his parents are vowing not to boycott if we don't have lights. My husband just thinks it's their loss, and that his parents will attend, even if begrudgingly. But I know it would hurt his relationship with them, and I don't want that. It's not that this is a hill I'm willing to die on, but it's my wedding, and this would be really special to me. In quotations, because my husband has told me he'd marry me in a Walmart if that's what I wanted. He just wants to marry me. Am I the asshole? Edit. I feel like I keep seeing these points brought up, so I'd like to address them. 1. We've hired a wedding planner whose literal job it is to make sure this event runs smoothly and safety. They are literally being paid to factor in any contingency to ensure the safest experience. 2. There will literally be staff wearing night vision goggles monitoring every table to ensure everyone's safety, and so that if anyone needs help or guidance, they will provide it. Be it for serving food, to escorting to other guests. There were 200 invites sent out, and 121 have RSVP'd yes. Each table is set to seat 6, so at this time we're paying for 20 extra hands to cover the tables for 121 guests. This isn't counting our table, or the exits. 3. I've heard a lot of people imply that glow bracelets and glow necklaces won't be enough. Having been to many nightclubs and raves in my teens and early 20s, I can promise you that 121 wearing these is enough to see with. And the staff will manage the rest concerning tripping hazard and direction. 4. A lot of you are the asshole are making very valid points, and I'm discussing them with my FDH. I'm also making a list of strong points to go over with my planner tomorrow. But for those people whose only argument is that they wouldn't be comfortable not being able to see, that's literally the point. You're not supposed to see. If someone came in a giant, furry, Sully, from Monsters, Inc. costume, I'd be thrilled when I ran into them. The wedding isn't going to be focused on visually enjoying the experience. It's about hearing, smelling, tasting, and feeling it. I know for a fact that enjoyment isn't dependent on sight. 5. Amendment to 4. Please know when I said, that's the point, I didn't mean the point is to be uncomfortable, and I can see how it came across that way. I want to apologize for that. What I meant is that it's literally the point to attend with limited visibility. When people tell me that they're uncomfortable with not being able to see at a lights-out event, it sounds the same to me as if someone is saying, for example, they're uncomfortable being naked at a mandatory nudist beach. If you're attending knowing you will be naked, or in this case, nearly blind. So making a complaint about not being able to see knowing it's a lights-out event doesn't make any sense to me. You are the asshole. This is an accident waiting to happen. None of the guests will have the skills your parents have at navigating in the dark. Why not just embrace that your parents dress in a way that is uniquely them? Wedding photos don't have to be curated and costumed. They're documenting the people who love you being there. You can do what you want, but this will likely be hell for any of your guests who are even mildly hard of hearing if you don't have a good sound system, and possibly even if you think you have a good sound system. Something like this is great fun if you're completely able-bodied, or already blind, with no mental health issues and aren't neurodivergent. So do what you like and have a first aid station set up for the inevitable injuries. Info. Have you consulted your parents about this? The entire night is going to be very much about their disability. They are going to overhear others talking about how hard it is to see, to dance or eat. If someone trips and falls, will they feel like they are to blame since you are doing this in their honor? I have to admit that I think it's weird that you went from, "I'm going to buy my parents some wedding clothes," to, "I don't care if they wear mismatched clothes," to, "The entire wedding will take place in the dark." In a way you are punishing your seeing guests. And how will this honor your parents or make them more comfortable? It's your wedding, so as long as your fiancé is on board and you guys don't care if a lot of his family don't show up, nah. Strange, but not an awe. I think this is a really romantic idea in theory, but the execution has many potential problems. Falling, tripping, eating the wrong food that causes dietary or allergic issues, not being able to see to socialize. This just has disaster written all over it. Very gentle, you are the asshole. So do you think your parents would want you to start your marriage off by alienating your partner's family with this wedding decision? Because choosing no lights makes it clear that only your side of the family is important here. What does it even do to benefit your own parents? Nothing. What people wear to the wedding is their choice. It don't really get how you jumped from, "My parents dress comfortably," to, "We're going lights out." You are the asshole, and this sounds like a bad gimmicky idea. And a way for especially older guests to feel uncomfortable navigating around with only glow stick lighting. Your edited additional comments make you look worse, not better. Am I the asshole for calling my Mill a bully in front of her friends? I, 31 female, have been married for 4.5 years and have a child with my husband. My husband is estranged from his family and has been for a little while now. There's a load of backstory here, but I will try to sum it up as quickly as possible. My husband is the oldest of four. Luke, James, Ryan and Cal. Luke, my husband, and James were close growing up. Ryan and Cal were close growing up. Luke and James adored Cal as the baby of the family. They were awful to Ryan. Mill did not like Ryan for unknown reasons. Phil silently allowed it to happen. Cal would defend and stand by Ryan. Cal passed away at the age of 19. Ryan cut his family off. My husband, having gone through all this, reflected and grew remorseful for his part in it all and sought therapy. And has deeply, deeply regretted his actions. That's most of the backstory simplified. But yeah, they bullied Ryan terribly. My husband was honest with me from the beginning about it. He hates himself a lot for what he did to his brother. And I think he always hoped his mom and James would feel the same. But if anything, Mill hates Ryan for daring to not stick around and be the black sheep forever. His dad has never been outspoken about anything, so we don't know where he is on that. Mill found out I knew and didn't like that I felt my husband hadn't been a good person back then and disagreed with how he treated his brother. She accused me of being a bad wife for expecting him to live with the consequences. When his mom turned on me and refused to stop, he cut her and the rest of the family off for standing by her. A couple of weeks ago I was out with some friends for coffee and saw Mill out with some of her friends. She started making digs at me and shaming me to her friends, saying I was a bad wife to her son and took him away from his family. I responded with, "At least I never bullied any of my children." Mill is furious that I said what I did and raged at my husband. She actually showed up at our house to do so. I wonder if I should have just bit my tongue and not said anything. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. She did what she did to Ryan and set the standard for how the others treated him. Now that Luke is seeing what he did was wrong, she can't handle watching him realize what he did was wrong. It's her cross to bear, and if she can't handle it, that's on her, not you. Not the asshole. Ryan was smart enough to know that he was the Nark family's requisite black sheep. And now that he left, your family-in-law is trying to pop you into his spot seamlessly. You certainly shouldn't play along. Not the asshole. She is a bully. She had no business attacking you. Once she went there, you have the right to defend yourself. Not the asshole. It's obvious your mill still hasn't changed. My guess is that Luke and James were nasty to Ryan because they saw that their parents hated him. Mil's friends, assuming that they have known her a long time, almost certainly know how she treated her son. And have told her that they agree with you. Your husband behaved badly towards his brother. He knows he was wrong. He regrets it. Hopefully he would like to reconcile with his brother. But his mother now has a maximum of one child who is speaking to her. Your mill picked an argument with you in front of her friends. You stood up to her. Which, like all bullies, she hates. You are not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your mill needs to get it through her head she can't expect people to just stand there and politely take her bullying. It didn't work with Ryan, and it's not going to work with you. If she shows up at your house again to try and continue a tirade, let the police escort her away.